The Death Tooth was a piece of Imperial equipment that was implanted into the teeth of many high-ranking Imperials during the time of the Empire, and after its collapse by the Imperial remnants. These devices often contained either a highly toxic substance or an electrical circuit designed to electrocute the user as soon as it was activated. So I'm going to break down the full history of the Death Tooth and why the Imperials were so willing to use them. Before we get into it, make sure to smash the subscribe button to be notified as soon as I release more awesome Mandalorian Season 2 and Star Wars lore content. The Death Tooth, or Kill Pill as it was sometimes referred to, was a highly lethal device that could be implanted into the teeth of high-ranking Imperial or Rebel Alliance officers during the Galactic Civil War and even after. The Rebel Alliance Intelligence Service commonly made use of these devices and implanted them in many agents who held highly sensitive and crucial intelligence information about the Rebel Alliance. They nicknamed these devices the Lullabies for reasons I definitely don't need to explain. Very terrifying stuff. Because of Cassian Andor's position as a Rebel intelligence operative, it's sadly pretty likely that he had one of these devices implanted into him so that he could activate it and remove himself from existence if he was to ever face torture. Either way, we'll soon find out, with the Cassian Andor series releasing sometime next year. One of the types of Death Tooth devices used by the Rebel Alliance was called the Aphid crystal killing device, which contained a ridiculously toxic crystal. As you can guess, was called the Aphid crystal. The crystal was inserted inside of a rubber or plastic false tooth inside of the Rebel spy's mouth and could be activated by chewing down extremely hard on the fake tooth. If they were to ever be captured or tortured, once chewed down on, the Aphid crystals would dissolve horribly inside of their mouth, causing all lung activity and breathing to immediately cease, killing them in only seconds. Unfortunately for some species, this process did not affect their respiratory systems as fast, causing a relatively slow and painful death. This tooth device could also be purchased from many dodgy and disgraceful black markets across the galaxy for only a tiny 500 credits. If you want to know more about the horrible and chilling items you could purchase on the black market, make sure you click on the card on screen now or click on the pinned comment down below, where I have a dark video on the black market. The most famous use of this type of device was when Rebel Commander Bria Tharan used one to end her life in order to avoid being captured during the horrific Battle of Toparawa. And let me know down below, if you were in the position of a Rebel Alliance spy, would you use the Death Tooth or would you attempt to withstand the torture? And just to make the choice a bit harder, let's say you had the location of a group of Jedi younglings hidden away that the Empire or Imperial remnants were trying to locate and slaughter. Following that is the type of Death Tooth primarily used by high-ranking Galactic Empire officials and those involved in radical Imperial remnant groups after the fall of the Empire following the Battle of Jakku. This type of Death Tooth was known as the Electrical Death Tooth and was even more painful than the neurotoxin version of the device used by the Rebel Alliance. This version of the Kill Pill was again implanted into its user through a false tooth, but instead of containing highly toxic crystals, it contained an electrical circuit with a deadly design. Once the user began to bite down incredibly hard on the tooth, small holes would be created, allowing saliva into the circuit, ultimately shorting it out. Once this process began, the device released a shocking amount of energy into its user, paralyzing their heart immediately, and of course ceasing all lung function and breathing. This device was of course used by an Imperial captain on the black market moon of Trask after he was confronted by Night Owl Bo-Katan Kryze, who demanded to know the location of the Darksaber, which had been stolen from her by the Imperial remnant led by Moff Gideon. Because his leader, Moff Gideon, was not willing to send reinforcements to back his crew up and was likely going to face capture by Bo-Katan and her Night Owls, the captain activated his Death Tooth, brutally electrocuting him to death. So that is everything we know about the horrible device known as the Death Tooth. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.